When it comes to logging on, are you crossing the line? Old relationships are renewed, and it's not crazy to think some romantic feelings are too. Our relationship expert, Dr. Julie Rosenzweig, is here to talk. Let's talk about those internet connections.
Yep.
A lot of people are reconnecting through Facebook, but
Yes,
there's also email that many people engage in.
Absolutely.
What are the risks involved in having an online friendship?
Well, it's interesting because we do call it a friendship, right? And I think you have to be very honest with yourself about why you are wanting to reconnect with someone from your past, especially if there have been, as you said, romantic feelings,
Right.
or start a friendship up with someone that's in your circle, because you are seeking to deepen that relationship. And so you have to understand what's missing in your own life as it is, that you need something else in it, because you are trying to deepen an emotional connection. And once you get on that path and that emotional connection is made, it's really hard to get off that path. And that's what really creates the risk, is that you're ready to roll the dice to see if something else will happen.
So can that friendship stay innocent? Say you're in a committed relationship.
Right.
That could be really touchy.
It can be very touchy, and we hear it all the time. Oh, I didn't mean for it to happen. We started out just as friends. I didn't plan on it. All of those things that we hear in the news today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only half the story. The truth is that you did plan to have a relationship with someone outside of your committed relationship, even if you thought it was going to be innocent and only at a friendship level. So that concept of it's just innocent really, I don't think, is valid, because, again, you are looking for something that's not in your life as it was currently playing out. So something was or is missing in your primary relationship, and you need to be aware of that, even if you're not consciously telling yourself that.
Well, and that said, when you have that online friendship, then sometimes you can be in a case where it gets very intense, more so than when you're in a one-on-one relationship in person. Why is that?
Right. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that really fascinates me about online connections. Well, number one, you have access to each other 24/7. So the frequency of contact really ramps up the relationship. The other thing is we tend to disclose things online that we probably wouldn't disclose in person, or at least not as soon as we do online, because we're not paying attention to all the other cues. Our sole attention is on what's on the keyboard,
right,
what we're typing. And the written word is very powerful, and it's almost like journaling online. As therapists, we often ask people to journal to get to know themselves. Mm-hmm. So imagine that experience online, and you have someone respond to it. It's a very heady feeling. So the intensity happens very quickly and in a different way than you have on a in-person relationship.
And it can be almost euphoric for some people,
yes,
if they
exactly.
are missing the elements that you talked about just a moment ago.
Very much so.
So how do you know if it's getting too intimate?
Yes, and I think everyone kind of knows, because they get that sense of needing to be more secret about it, so that's probably the number one. So secrecy, really pay attention to that. Also frequency of contact. If you're contacting the person several times a day, you're at the threshold or already over the line. And also the nature of disclosure. If you're disclosing things about yourself and your life that you're not disclosing to your primary partner, then you've definitely crossed the line, especially if you begin to talk about deficits in your primary relationship.
So what do you do if you have crossed the line?
Right. Stop immediately. And be prepared that that's going to be really tough. Don't even try to just scale back, because that's not going to work. You need to stop. You need to really get ready to kind of grieve the loss of that relationship, and you really have to do some soul searching about what's missing in your primary relationship, your marriage, and really get back in the relationship with your partner 100% and really work to get all of your intimate needs, emotional needs met in that relationship. So do some work.
A lot of people in this position, I'm sure, as technology has changed and connected so much more. So many more
it's a
people.
slippery slope once you get on the top of that.
Julie, thank you. Always good information.